Hi guys, I'm Kayla with Artistic Religion, and this is Makeup and Motivation. These are my Monday uploads. If you've never watched one of these videos, I sit down, do my makeup. I don't talk about the makeup, but if you are interested in the products that I'm using, you can check the description box and it will be listed down below. But I sit down and read a piece of encouragement, whether I wrote it literally 6 years ago, a month ago, last night at like 2 a.m., So my goal with these style of videos is to encourage you, to motivate you, and to get you thinking about growth and just improving ourselves as children of God and doing better. I want us to do better. I want to do better. I want to improve. I want to step up and hold myself accountable and hold myself up to a higher standard. And I want that for you as well. So if my demeanor seems a little bit low today, it's because I am. I feel a little bit heavy today. I feel a little bit of a sense of lamenting just from, which we'll get into it more when I get into the actual video and all of that, but I just feel a little bit weighed down, and I'm holding myself accountable to my choices, the things that I say, what I do, how I behave, and I want to do better. I want to be better. I want you to be better. I want you to act better. I want you to say better things and just improve in our relationship with God and grow, because I feel like this day and age, the condition of the world, we're in such desperate need of seeing the example of Christ and Him crucified, Jesus who washed people's feet. We need those kind of people on the ground doing good things, and we have failed. I have failed, and it's just been eye-opening. It's funny when I do these videos, like if you don't know, I took about a year off of filming YouTube videos. I didn't film for very long back then, but I took a year off, and whatever I film, the messages that I say, I go through it. That's why I can speak on it. That's why I can relate to the things that I'm saying, because whatever I speak on, it never fails. I will go through something that tests what I have to say, and that's kind of how I feel with this video. That is how I feel with this video, and I know that going forward something else is going to happen where I'm tested even further. So I guess I'm just preparing myself, but I'm also currently going through it. So that was a long intro, but if you're interested, if at all, to hear what I have to say, if you want to watch what makeup look I create, if makeup doesn't interest you at all and you're a dude, you can just listen to me. You don't have to watch me do makeup. That's why I do makeup, is because if you are watching these videos, sorry, that was my phone, you can watch me do makeup. It makes it a little bit more interesting, or you can just listen, and it works both ways. So I'm out of breath, but that was a long intro. Let's just get into it. Let's get started. Today's piece is called By the Fruit of My Lips and the Skin of My Teeth. Ephesians 4:29 says, "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear." Proverbs 18:21 says, "The tongue has power of life and death, and those who love to talk will eat their own words." That was way too much foundation on the side of my face. So, if you're catching on, this video is for me, the Negative Nellies, the Johnny Rainclouds, and the Debbie Downers. All of you who love to complain, who feed off of negative energy, bad attitudes, and you need to break that habit. Those of you who want to do better, who want to speak life, or those of you who even don't realize how bad it is what you're allowing to come out of your mouths. So this is for us, and I want us to do better. So, how often do your words speak curses and damnation? All those times that you speak terribly about any and everything. Those of you who complain nonstop, and those of you who want to do better but are struggling and you're trying to hold yourself accountable, I want you to watch this video. This video is for believers. This video is for us to step up and do better, because we are letting people down so much because we are acting like miserable individuals. When we're filled with negative thoughts, behaviors, and attitudes, our vocabulary represents that. The longer we sink into negativity, the harder it is to switch into a positive atmosphere. And how true is that? The more bad we speak, the easier it is to just sink into that mindset. And it is hard to snap out of. It really is a battle daily to fight those negative thoughts and to just simply just not let it come out of your mouth. It's one thing to think things, but to speak it into existence, that's another thing. You open yourself up for spiritual battles that you could seriously be missing because you're just simply speaking on things that you shouldn't speak aloud on. I'm not trying to say, oh, well, you need to hide your feelings from God and just keep your mouth shut. God is all-knowing and knows what you're going through. But how we react to things, and if I'm going through something and my reaction is that of to spew out negative words, and my whole demeanor changes, my attitude changes into this terrible, miserable existence, that opens you up to spiritual battles. We curse others, ourselves, the weather, our occupations, and God himself. The more I grow, the more I realize it's not my place to jab people with unsolicited and harsh opinions or belittle someone. And it's one thing if someone is in the wrong and you're trying to help them, to correct them, to guide them. There's one thing in doing that, and it's another thing to just bash someone. I mean, you think about Jesus, and when he encountered people, he was kind. He told people, go and sin no more. He didn't bash them over their heads with, what are you doing? You know, and we're so bad about condemning people when we are the very people who should be speaking life over these people. It has been a while since I have used that powder, and my goodness, it's so strong. I like it though. Galatians 5:22 through 26 says, but the spiritual nature produces love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. There are no laws against things like this. Those who belong to Jesus Christ have crucified their corrupt nature along with its passions and desires. If we live by our spiritual nature, then our lives need to conform to our spiritual nature. We can't allow ourselves to act arrogantly and to provoke or to envy each other. And so many of us do those very things. I've done those very things. I still struggle with those things. I have provoked. I have acted arrogantly. I have envied. I think all of us can relate to those things. And I want to be better. And I want all of us as a community of Christians, I want us to step up and really hold ourselves accountable and act better. That created a terrible line. This is going to be an absolutely ridiculous example of how the things that we say stick with people. But because this could and should roll off my back, but things like this stick with people, and it sticks with me. So I can't tell you how many times I have heard that girl, that poor girl has no money to buy herself pants without holes in them. And yes, that's absolutely ridiculous to be bothered by, and it doesn't necessarily bother me, but I'm constantly, hearing it, and my personal style is getting made fun of. But not only that, I'm constantly hearing that I'm broke, I have no money to get me some pants that don't have holes in them. And yes, that's a ridiculous example of things, but our words stick, and picking is a weird thing, but we're so trained to pick on people. I pick on people. It's hard to, because I was raised around that, it's hard to break that habit, but it's weird, because I feel like there's a little bit of truth in every joke you tell. And if somebody is saying something against you that is a dig, it's a jab, that just shows me what's in their heart. And it just, I feel like we need to do better, and we need to drop that because it's just not uplifting. It really can tear people down, and it can really just be that one thing that's just too much to take in a day, and people aren't sensitive to that. They don't realize that. And frankly, some people just simply wouldn't care if they did realize that was just the straw that broke the camel's back, you know. As children of God, we are to be love lights to the world, showing compassion, lending a helpful hand, and extending grace wherever we go. 1 Corinthians 13:4-7 says, "Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoings, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things." So if we are to be examples of Christ, to show an ultimate example of love, but we're spewing out negativity, we are complaining, we're dogging people, we're gossiping, we're doing all of these things, we're being terrible examples of God. I have been a terrible example of Christ and Him crucified. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who can say that. I feel like this video is definitely for me, but I feel like it's going to be for somebody else. So if you feel convicted of this, it's time to wake up. It's time to do better. It's time to step up and hold yourself accountable and just learn to bite your tongue. That's something that just that alone, you can work on the negative thoughts later. Just learn to control your tongue first and foremost, because that is huge. And what we say to people, ourselves, our jobs, our environment, God, those words don't come back into our mouths. We can't take them back. What we say lives, if that makes sense. Christians can be some of the most condescending and rude people. Disagree? I highly suggest going to ask a waitress what their most difficult table is, because I would bet that it's the after church crowd, the ones who just get out of church and want to go eat with their families and friends, and are just terrible people. Terrible people. I don't want to be known as one of those terrible people. I want to be known as a true follower of Jesus, you know, not a Pharisee, not somebody who belittles people and just makes them feel like they're nothing. I don't want that. I don't want that anymore. I want better for myself. I want better for you. I want us to step up, because the condition of the world right now sucks. And I feel like it's our time to, it's going to be like make or break time. Like we're either all in or we're not at all, you know? Like it's time to stop riding the fence, being lukewarm, be here or there, you know? And do better. I want us to do better. I want to do better, and it's just time to start growing. I grew up in a household where negative comments were more common than anything remotely uplifting. And even though my mom tried really hard to counteract that, words still hurt, and it still affects your environment, and it affected mine. And that's something that I'm going to, at one point in my life, someday I'm going to have to let that go. You know, I'm going to have to let the words that I have heard from family, friends, random people, clients, just let it go. And I don't know if it's just I can't let it go because I don't want to let it go, or if I'm just that hurt by the things that I have experienced. I don't know. Because I think there comes a time where, like, if someone doesn't forgive you, like, it kind of is on them. Like, they're choosing to hold on to it. I don't know. You know, just because I do these videos doesn't mean, like, I think that I know it all. I'm definitely not arrogant in that aspect. Like, I really don't feel like I know it all. I just am speaking on what I'm learning, what I do know, my ideas, you know, and that's something that I struggle with, because I really don't know, like, am I just clinging to a bad attitude? And by the skin of my teeth, I am working so hard to break that cycle of negativity. I want to be kind, seasoned with grace, not a pushover, but in no way resembling a bully. And I feel like I have resembled a bully at times in my life. And that's not something that is Christ-like. I want to speak life over myself and others, to bear fruit of genuine compassion and kindness rather than ugliness. I want to do better because it's just time. It is time as a whole for us to step up, for us to do better and hold ourselves accountable, like I have said over and over again. But it's just because we don't, you know? And it's just, it's so past due. And people are afraid of us or hate us because we have been terrible examples of Jesus. And like, if Jesus was walking among us in this day and time, like, so many of us would come across like the Pharisees. We would be these arrogant prudes that are so resentful towards regular folk. You know, we think we're better than other people. We have such an arrogance to us, and we provoke people rather than just letting them experience a genuine love and grace and beauty that is Jesus. You know, it's frustrating, and I feel like I'm a little sharp in this video. I actually filmed this video already, and I was real sharp. But this video is for the children of God. This is for Christians. This is a harsh lesson, and it is seasoned with salt, because we have been seasoned with salt, and not in a good way. We have been salty towards people, and this message is direct because that's how we have been. It's time to do better. Step up, do better, hold yourself accountable, and just bite your tongue. We as the body of Christ are failing miserably when it comes to being examples of Christ and Him crucified, and I am just as guilty. I've spoken and acted out of anger, hatred, pettiness more times than I can count. I've been the one to give jabs, gossip, and curse, but I feel like I am finally waking up to the realization that I can't continue in this place of a terminal bad attitude. And neither can you. It's time, like I said, it's time to be either here nor there. Stop riding the fence, being lukewarm and back and forth. You want to be so zealous for Christ in church, but when it comes down to walk into this, grocery store, down the sidewalk, the way we engage with people is so off-putting. Life and death are in the power of our words. And there was a time when you would have thought I would have died behind my bad attitude. I held on to it so tightly, and I rebelled heavily against sweetheartedness, kindness, gentleness. And I don't know necessarily why. I don't know if it's because when you're little you watch all these shows that have bad attitude teenagers and you think it's so cool and you wanted to be that way. I don't know if that was my thing. If I just wanted to come across as tough and like this bad at a bleep bleep bleep, or what, I don't know. I don't know if that was just what I wanted. I thought that was the person that I wanted to be, and that's something I guess I still battle with, because and maybe it's because I've been hurt and burned and betrayed and whatever. I want to be cold. I guess at times I want to come across like I have no feelings, and that comes across like pure hatred at times. I don't know. I'm 28. I haven't figured life out yet, but I'm trying. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to learn who I am, to be realistic in who I am, what I'm putting out into the world, what I'm saying, my attitude, all of that. I'm trying to be better, and I don't want to be this person who has a terminally bad attitude. I don't want to go to the grave with that. With with hatred on me, with negativity. I don't want to go to the grave like that. I want to do better. I want to go out happy. And you can only be so happy if you are negative. Think about all the negative people that you know, like, those people aren't happy. Those people are miserable. And when you're at your most negative, hateful, prude, stoic, cold self, you're miserable. Like, you are so unhappy, and you are lashing out on yourself, God, other people, even your dog at times. It's time to wake up. It's time to do better. It's time to show love and extend that compassion that washed people's feet that could have very well been filthy. And so many of us aren't willing to do that. And I want to be willing to do that. I want you to be willing to do that. I want us to get to a point where we are willing to be the backbone of Christ, to be the feet on the ground, those who extend grace and mercy, those who help, even if it's just something simple and physical, like if somebody needs a helping hand, be that, rather than this condescending, picking but playing like jokester who hurts people's feelings because it's a joke. You know, it's just time to do better. Ephesians 4:31-32 says, "Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you, along with all malice. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you." And that's another thing, man. Like, you gotta read the Word, because there's so much instruction in the Word. That right there. I'm bitter. I have wrath. I've been angry so much, you know. And it's right there in front of my face. Don't do it. Let it be put away. But we hold on to these things. And I know I'm not the only one. This video very well might just be for me, but there's so many people. There are so many people. You just need to familiarize yourself with the instruction that was left behind for us. You know, be kind to one another. Forgive one another as God literally has forgiven you. So why are you being resentful when God has forgiven you and them? Why are you holding on to these things? Why am I holding on when whatever has happened to me, however bad it was, is already forgiven? That doesn't mean you have to let these people back into your life. That doesn't mean you have to be a doormat. That doesn't mean you have to accept abuse. That doesn't mean any of that. That just means let it go. Get your heart right. Let it go. Let yourself heal so you can be your fullest, wonderful self that's not supposed to be weighed down with all this sucky crap that has happened in life. So if you are dealing with something, anger from past mistakes that you've done, things that people have done to you, said to you, threats that people have made to you, betrayals, a cheating spouse, whatever, if you are holding on to that with all your might, if you are even if you were just so angry over a death of a loved one because it just wasn't fair, your heart won't be right until you let those things go. And I am speaking to the choir, I am preaching to the choir, because this is for me. I have held on to things with all my might. I have white-knuckled revenge. I have white-knuckled betrayals that have happened to me. I have white-knuckled comments and just held on to them so passionately. And I have hurt myself in the process. I have kept myself from being happy. I have kept myself from moving forward, next to Jesus for the next phase of my life. It's time to do better. It's time to heal yourself. It is time to speak good, healthy fruit. The fruit of your lips, let it be good. And by the skin of your teeth, you will make it through. We are what we say. Our very words represent the condition of our hearts, but lucky for us, we can better ourselves and tend to our own personal growth. So be of good cheer. There is hope for you and there is hope for me. You can choose better every single day, even if you have to choose repeatedly throughout the day. Choose your words carefully and speak life rather than curses. That is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you are awake to do better, to bite your tongue, to heal, because that's what this is about. The fruit of our lips, speaking life and death, the power of our tongue that reflects our hearts. And that can be a heavy thing to bear, but if you know it, you can choose to grow. You can choose to do something with it. You can choose to be better. And I want to be better, and I want you to be better. So that is it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, I highly suggest you stick around my channel. You can subscribe or ring the bell if you want to be notified when I post. I have been trying to upload again on Mondays. I did skip last Monday because construction downstairs, it was just too loud, and I just have been in a low. I have been in a low, but I think it's because I'm at a growth spurt, and growth spurts can be very painful. Even physical growth spurts as a kid, it can be very painful. So keep that in mind. As you grow, it might hurt. It might really, really hurt, but you can make it through. And you know what? Jesus will be there with you every step of this possible way. Every single step, he'll be there with you, so you are not alone. He is very near to the brokenhearted, and that's what this is about. This isn't just about the words, it's about why we're speaking those words. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys. Side note, my makeup is beautiful. These are all products I haven't used in a while, and I feel lovely. I feel beautiful, which is nice, since I have not felt that way here lately. But oh well. I'll get past it.